Welcome back, you lovely bunch. Thanks for tuning in again. I hope you're all doing good. Look at this beauty of a bike. Today is the day that we're finally going to get this specialised alley sprint disc built up with the new Wheeltop electronic group set. So here we have the full wireless group set from Wheeltop. We have the rear mech, front mech and the two shifters. I have already fed the brake cables through, and I wasn't going to bore you guys with hours of me swearing trying to get everything through, but I actually did do it relatively quickly today. All I have to do is put the front mech on, the rear mech on, put the levers on, crankset, chain, and then get it all finely tuned, and we're ready to go. Oh yeah, and I do actually have to set up the disc brakes, which is going to be fine. Honestly, I'm not nervous about it at all. I'm lying, I'm totally nervous. I want it to be perfect and I want it to be nice, and I have struggled setting up disc brakes in the past, so fingers crossed I can get it all done. So Wheeltop is a great, cheaper alternative to SRAM, Shimano, Campagnolo, full wireless like I said. So I figured I'd stick with the theme, and we're going to continue using some cheaper, more affordable parts on it. So this funky 12-speed rainbow chain from AliExpress. I haven't had the best experience with cheaper cassettes, so I did actually buy an official Shimano 12-speed cassette, but I did save some money on this crankset. So check this out, this is the chainring. Double chainring, one piece, direct mount, and I'm going to be mounting that to this Raceworks crankset. So this is an aluminium crankset, but I've seen a lot of Trace Velo's videos, and there seems to be a few issues with cranksets that have an aluminium spindle. This snaps. So I did actually opt for a crankset with a steel spindle. I know it's a little bit heavier, but honestly I'm not like a weight weenie, not that bothered. I'd rather have something solid and reliable than something that's going to snap. So I think all I need to do is I need to slot these on here, get these bolted in, so that'll look quite nice. That'll go on the bike, bosh, chain on, cassette on, set the brakes up, sorted. I need to just stop waffling. You guys are keen to see this complete build, so let's get this bolted together, get it all set up and see how it looks. Oh, look, let me show you this actually. So I've used Supercaz bar tape in the past. It's really good, right? I ordered this bar tape from AliExpress, and I know it's a copy of the Supercaz one. What I didn't expect was it to actually be just a straight up knockoff. I mean, look at it. It is called a super sticky cush tape, as you can see, and this is what Supercaz call their bar tape. The packaging is very similar to Supercaz bar tape. I mean, I'm just hoping, I'm not condoning buying knockoff parts here by the way, but when it comes to bar tape, I mean, do you want to spend like £30 on some bar tape? Or £3? This costs £3. Very similar to Supercaz bar tape. I think it's going to look absolutely spectacular. So let's get all these parts on and get this build finished. Right, let's go. So after a little bit of faffing, a tiny bit of swearing, I've got this all set up, everything is working beautifully. I've got to say, straight off the bat, dead impressed with how good the shifting is on this Wheeltop group set. So setting it up wasn't the simplest process, and that's partly because a lot of the app is still kind of in Chinese, so it's quite hard to work out, and then there's a big part of user error on my part. I didn't realise a few things, and then after looking on the internet, everything became clear. So what I've learned from setting up this Wheeltop group set is, it is very easy to set up. The things you need to make sure of is, 1, you have the app. 2, the front mech, rear mech and the shifters, you have to update them. If you don't update them, you're running old firmware, so it might not work properly. And 3, this is something that I did not know. There's 2 modes for this group set. You have a casual and you have a race mode. Race mode gives you faster shifting, but it never turns off, so you'll get battery drain whilst your bike is stationary. So if you are using the race mode, you do need to make sure that you turn it off back to casual, and then it will go to sleep and you won't go to ride your bike and end up with a flat battery. I couldn't work out why my rear mech just kept on losing battery, just losing battery all the time. So after a little bit of research, I did find out that you do have to switch it off of race mode, so just be aware. Race mode is nice, by the way. It gives you a much faster shifting. It's like I haven't ridden it outside yet, so I can't really feedback properly, but the setup, the installation was quite simple, you know. It's more simple than like a Shimano group set with all the wires you have to feed through. Obviously it's comparable to the SRAM ETAP group sets. It's simply a matter of putting on your front mech, rear derailleur, putting on your shifters, and the only thing you really need to set up is the brakes. And just quickly on the brakes, these hood covers, whilst I love how hard and how tough these are, like, oh my god, my thumbs have still not recovered from bleeding these brakes. It's so hard. I mean, I actually had to get the missus to help me. I was like pulling back the hood and she's like undoing the like bleed support screw thing, and then I'm like, oh, honestly my fingers hurt thinking about it. But I've got them set up, and it was the first time I set up disc brakes all on my own, and it went very smoothly. And as you can see, I have brakes that work, I have gears that work, and yeah, on the whole, I'm very, very happy with this build. So I'll talk you through a little bit about the build. Like I said, you've got the Wheeltop EDS TX group set on here. 1 button is to shift down, 1 button is to shift up. Really simple, really nice. You can fine tune everything. It also has auto trimming on the front derailleur, which means as you shift through the gears on the back, the front derailleur will shift slightly, so it doesn't rub the chain as much. Now, I've not ridden it outside, so I can't vouch for this. The next video we will be riding it outside, and I'm very much looking forward to taking this out. But yeah, the auto trimming feature is a very, very nice thing. It also will not let you run the smallest ring on the front and then the smallest cog on the back. It will automatically jump back up 2 cogs to give you like a better chain line, because it basically stops that real harsh cross chaining, which we all know you shouldn't do. However, you can go on the big ring at the front and the big ring on the rear for some reason. It doesn't seem to restrict you on that, so no idea. The left shifter does your front mech, just up and down, 1 click, very simple. The retail for this is much, much cheaper than like Shimano and SRAM. I think it is about $700 and something on their website at the moment. They're still sorting out all their worldwide shipping, so do bear with them for that. But first impressions, you can't help but be impressed. You really can't. Things you will need though, you will need to download the app, you will need to make sure everything's charged, and you will need to have a little bit of patience, because it's not just a slap it on and it's set up kind of group set. It has a lot of things you can fine tune, and because you can fine tune them, it can get a little bit confusing. You can like trim the gears, there's so much adjustment on the app with the gears and the setup. It's actually pretty mind blowing. It's the most adjustment I've ever seen on a bike gear setup. I mean, you can have this as a 3-speed group set or as a like 13-speed group set. I've gone for 12. This is the first time I'm running a 12-speed on a road bike, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So that is a look at my Specialized LA Sprint disc with the new Wheeltop EDS TX group set on it. Got to say a massive thanks to Wheeltop for sending me out this stuff. I can't wait to try this out and take this bike out for a ride and see how this performs on the road. But aesthetically, I think I've nailed it, don't you? What do you think? It looks bloody amazing, doesn't it? I've got to stop this now because I need to go and ride this bike. I can't sit here staring at it. I've been staring at it for too long. It's now time to ride it. Right, remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Bye.